What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for August 21st, 2023. We are still playing the waiting game for 3.20. Rattling is now a feature, and, well, the sneak peek is probably the most interesting thing that we saw all week. All that and more on today's Week in Review. Well, not that much more. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, every day but Monday, starting at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And with that, we have a little bit to get through this week, but not a whole lot. So let's start out with what we may or may not know about 320. And spoiler alert, there was no information about 320 this week, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about is, well, there wasn't 320, there wasn't the post-mortem for, I think, the 5th week in a row now. What is happening with that? That is something the backers really need to be told and talked about. I've talked about this every week for the last 5 weeks of how important I think that is. Personally, I think that there's a lot of things they could talk about with 320. We know from the dev tracker that there's some things, and I think Reddit as well with Elliot, is that there's a few things going on that we could definitely talk about. Updates to salvage missions, updates to mining. With Torsten, we've seen on a dev tracker thing. So there's a lot that we could hear about, and we're not hearing about any of it. These could be ISCs. These could be patch or like posts on the forums even. And sure, I'm bummed out because I can't share exciting news to you guys this week. A little bit. But in the end, I want patch 320 to come out as solid as possible. I don't want it to be rushed, and I want them to take their time because we haven't really had solid stability for a very long time, and it would be nice to have that. And in general, I'm okay with things being the way they are right now. There are so many cool games that are coming out. Everyone's playing Baldur's Gate now. Everyone's excited about Starfield. You have Armored Core 6 coming. There's tons of games that are coming that people are really excited about. Do you guys even care about 320? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think, because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. A big part of me doesn't care at all. For video updates this week, well, we had an ISC that was titled First Rate Resonate, and it is interesting. It was more interesting than I thought it was going to be, and the first thing they shared with us is Claudius, which is some sort of audio tool, and they basically explain to us what it is.
Claudius is our new audio tool that brings together all the different audio functions into one place so that the sound designers can access everything they need
without going through needless code requests all the time. My favorite thing about Claudius is the fact that I won't have to jump into so many different tools and programs to get in-game and get the sounds sounding the way that I want them to and the way that I envision them in my head.
Yeah, a lot of that was pretty vague, but it is a tool that they use to make audio faster and better. Great. How are they going to fill an episode there? There's not that much to say about the tool, and there was a lot more to listen to, and basically the only thing that I can really take away from the episode for you guys was this. So yeah, it all sounds better. That's great. I think that that's pretty cool. It's a little rattling. That is, really, I think it does help, right? So watching the video, and I do suggest that you guys watch ISC yourselves because I enjoyed watching it, right? It wasn't a bad ISC necessarily. It's just don't really have a lot to pull out for you guys other than that they've added a little bit of resonance to some of the sounds that we have, and it's basically automatic with this Claudius tool, and it makes life a lot easier for them. Cool, right? But basically, for us, the lack of information that we're getting over the next few months, and this is the best they got, man, CitizenCon better be amazing, right? And moving on, we had an SCL, which was the second part of last week's SCL, with Elliot Maltby making a mission. And it's really, you know, it's a bit of a nothing burger because it's a mission. We watched it. Again, another situation where I do suggest you watch it yourself. Elliot's great, and it's an entertaining watch, right? It's fun. But again, not too much to pull out because it's a mission that probably won't be in the game. They just did it for fun, and that's all it really is. And you know, I mean, what more do you want right now? It's not a good time for ISC and SCL, and I wish they would come up with some ideas for these times. They know they're going to come every year, and for some reason, we never have anything like kind of prepared for this. And I just lean back on Squadron, and the fact that they can't show any of that has to really suck. And I think it really sucks for us as well. And then lastly, other updates. We had a sneak peek, which is settlement outposts that we've seen on ISC a while back, I think, but the planet Moon looks a little bit different. I don't know. Nobody on Reddit really seemed to point out what they think it is. I'm assuming it is a Pyro Moon, but for me, the location isn't that interesting. It's what we do there, and if they share any new information about what is going to happen at these locations, why they're important, right? If it's just more, you know, going back to missions with Elliot that are, you know, right now, unfortunately, very repetitive and not really enjoyable to do over and over again, well, that's a big problem where it's not really on the mission team. That's on the game being built. And sure, part of building the game is making these settlements. But I think a big part of building the game is first starting with what we do at things and then build the locations around what we do. And CIG doesn't do it that way. They build the location, and then within the confines of that location, mission team has to figure out how to make it interesting. I don't think that's a really good way of doing it. Let me know what you guys think down below. But that's just how I'm feeling about there. And then this is a bit of a stretch for news and information, but possible crash handler issues. There was a dev tracker post from Bearded CIG who was responding to somebody who was saying, you know, hey, my game is crashing a lot. I'm really bummed out by the game, I think. And then he basically said, well, we don't have any logs from your account since December. And I imagine since he, you know, put in a crash report now, he's probably been doing them a lot. I also feel like I put in crash reports and they don't really finish. I don't get the prompt at the end. I don't know how long it takes. So maybe there's something to address there. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys are experiencing similar issues when you crash. But that's really all we have this week. So that was Week in Review, probably the shortest one we've ever done. Take a look back at old Week in Reviews. I can't imagine I've done anything shorter than this without just not doing an episode at all. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hopefully next week is a little bit better, but don't get your hopes up. See you soon.